46, 5, 6. He was pretty fortunate that Yamaha just snapped back into line and he was able to carry on this lap. He was on pole in Mandalika in stunning fashion, was Fabio Quartararo.
Really
that river through turn number 9, that's scary. To tip it into that super, knowing you're going to run through a wet patch, Simon. Talk about fortune favouring the brave.
I genuinely don't like it. I know, but again, it's riding in those two different styles. Alex, knowing where they are, will be pushing here where it's dry. Like when he knows that patch is coming up, like I said, pick the bike up a bit and don't do anything to make the tyre the edge of the tyre.
Yeah, well, we're looking at our top two men in Q1, which was Alex Marquez and the man directly behind him, Luca Marini, who's being watched, Valentino Rossi. Joan Mir has got some serious speed early on in the factory Suzuki. There he is in the 36 from Mir. Now, this would be a collector's item. This would be a novelty. A Suzuki on pole position and a front row start for does like. Mir leads with a 1:45, 4:14.
Matt, he obviously likes the track, but to do it in these conditions, he's quite impressive from those two, and Bez right behind him.
You just wonder how much that early scare conditioned Fabio. The rear tyre over the longer race distance, which is still a bit of an Achilles heel for the Italian. Marquez then, Alex, the younger of the 15, climbs up the hill towards the start-finish line now here in Portimao, and he does indeed take top spot back in this Q2 session. Marquez leads with a 1:43 ability, that's for sure. Marco Bezzecchi. Zarko's just come over the line and taken 6th place. Marc Marquez lost 7 minutes of this qualifying session remaining here in Portimao. The battle for pole position raging in Portugal years ago now, back in 2015. Is Joan Mir going to pull off a real shock result here? Drying conditions, the track still scattered with a few damp patches. Miller was going to go gung-ho, he was going to go all in. Comes Joan Mir, then we ride on board with the 2020 world champion. He goes into 2nd place, great job. A 1:43.869 inside those first 2 rows as well. He's in 8th place at the moment, the Frenchman. Not a bad lap this coming in from the Pram. Jack Miller, he drops down through turn number 15. Zarko goes 4th, that was close to the front race. At the moment, then, it's still Alex Marquez clinging on to what will be a sensational pole position. What a birthday. Goes 2nd, but on his 26th birthday, Alex Marquez still on pole.
Oh, no, can't. Almost.
To do it as well on his 26th birthday. Luca Marini runs in a little bit hot there. Alex Marquez then.
Matt, you've got to stay on here, so you're...
Alex Marquez, his last pole position was in his glory days. Big moment there, though, on the rear tyre through turn 15. He galloped World Championship was his last pole position, and he's on course for it here in MotoGP. He stretches his lead out now to over half a second. Alex Marquez down. Marc Marquez trying to make it a dream family 1-2 here in Portimao. He's on course to go back into 2nd place at the moment. He's in 5th. Johan Zarko snatches it out of nowhere. Great. A last sector from the Pramac Ducati man. He's been overshadowed so often in 5-1. Alex Marquez dumped back to 2nd. Miller still on the front row. You can't take your eyes off this one because now Fabio splitting Zarko, Quartararo and Alex Marquez on that front row. Johan Zarko, well, as we mentioned, teammate Jorge Martin over the last few races. Martin had been on pole on the front row of the grid for Pramac Ducati in the last 5 Grand Prix. Victory here in Portimao tomorrow. Will it be a front row? Will it be pole position for the Suzuki man? It is at the moment. A wanting Frenchman, Johan Zarko. Jack Miller also on a charge. We pick up Johan Zarko, downhill turn number 15 left for Zarko. He drops down through now, coming to the start-finish line in this session. He does a 1:42.620, but don't take your eyes off Jack Miller. He does break Pramac Ducati hearts. Ducati salvaging something from what's been a pretty disappointing Saturday so far with the qualifying session. Ducati out of nowhere have a 1-2. Miller on pole position, Zarko 2nd, and Quartararo as it's just gone down, and that's a big one, and that's going to bring out the yellow flags. Could this be a crash for a Repsol Honda denying Marc Marquez a P4 last November in Pol Espargaro at turn number 15? Yellow flags out in sectors 1 and 4. Now, wow. Can you believe it then? Marc Marquez, his heart will now sink if he's seen it. Of course, he's leaning over to the right-hand side. Will he have seen Pol Espargaro and the yellow free on pole? A 1:42.295 puts Marc Marquez on pole position. But surely that lap's going for the... It looks like it's a crash from a Repsol Honda rider, which will cost Marc Marquez pole position. You believe it by his teammate Pol Espargaro's late crash. This is not over. Look at this. Bagnaia, Alex Espargaro, and attacks hard now. Throws that Suzuki onto its right-hand side. Knee down, elbow down through turn number 15. Here comes Mia. Is he now? At the moment he does. A 1:42.198. Great job by the Suzuki star. It's all down to this man, Alex Espargaro, and possibly the Frenchman, Johan Zarko. Alex Espargaro goes. Zarko, who does take it. What a session, what a lap, what a pole position by Johan Zarko. A 1:42. It's by nearly 0.2 of a second. Mia takes a stunning second. Alex Espargaro back on the front row. Johan Zarko.
Posisi keempat ada Jack Miller dan posisi kelima Fabio Quartararo. Sedangkan posisi ke-6 yaitu Marco Bezzecchi dan posisi ke-7 Marc Marquez. Posisi ke-8 ada Luca Marini, 9 Marc Marquez dan 10 Pol Espargaro.